Hey y'all, welcome back. Now we have episode 20 of season 2.
Yes.
Oh my God, this is going crazy at this point. But Kevin, this is your episode yet again.
Yes.
It is
It
the
is.
wrestling episode. Everyone's back
Yes.
except Cyrus. His computer decided to glitch on him, so he'll join us eventually. But
Yes.
Kevin, take it. It's all you.
I have been very excited. It has been a long wait. The last time you saw everyone was episode 25, and now we are literally at episode 72. So the wrestling podcast is back. As you can see, one half of the Mush Squad podcast is here. We got Joe Mack here. We have West Virginia's favorite son, Leland Reed here. And shortly, you will see everyone's favorite Duke Blue Devil, Cyrus Johnson Jr.
He's
from
not my
South
favorite.
Jersey. Apparently not Merritt's favorite. He's waiting on, has got some technical difficulties, but he's gonna join us soon. So guys, go ahead and say hello to the pod again.
How we doing, fellas?
How's it going, guys?
Hey, everyone. Good to see everyone.
I was wondering
Yeah,
who's going to say
absolutely.
something first.
I was
That's what I was waiting on to see if Joe was going first or if I was.
I wanted to defer because I usually always talk first. But what I will say, and we'll obviously get into this, Kev, is I think I might have made the biggest mistake of all time trading Leland MJF all those many moons ago. So
I know. I mean, but it's funny because I look at my roster right now, and half of it, it's currently dismantled because of circumstances beyond my control. But we're going for it because this is our wrestling promotions and this is us living the dream. And I'm excited. So, hopefully Cyrus is going to get on. But Merritt, I'm just gonna rock with it. We're gonna go into the weekly sports updates. So, first things first, we have Derek Carr finally released by the Raiders. He literally, I believe it was one day before his contract became guaranteed, and the Raiders cut him. I don't know about you boys. I'm pretty sure that we knew this was going to happen. They stopped playing him earlier in the season. Now, the debate goes, where do we think Derek Carr is going?
I think it all depends on the Aaron Rodgers saga.
Oh, yes.
Because when Aaron Rodgers comes out of his 96 hours in isolated blackness and darkness, who knows what he's going to come out and say. So if he wants to continue playing football, the best chance for Aaron Rodgers to get to the Super Bowl, and this is going to hurt me multiple times over, but the best chance that Aaron Rodgers has to get to the Super Bowl is to play for the New York Jets. And it's disgusting to say that. It hurts me, but it's the truth. And if he wants to continue playing football for a team not the Green Bay Packers, it's got to be the New York Jets. And then all the other cards will fall in line after that.
Yeah, he's still ain't going to do shit on the Jets.
I just feel like, I know a lot of people have been saying the Jets, but I also feel Aaron is just too damn sensitive. And I think the New York media will absolutely rip him apart.
Yeah, he'll at this point with Vegas letting Carr go, you have Devontae Adams down there. Hopefully they're smart enough to re-sign Josh Jacobs and a couple other guys on the offensive side of the ball. Why not just trade for taking away everything? Why not just keep going at this point? Get Rodgers for 1 year, make one magical run potentially in one of the toughest divisions in the NFL. And the Jets, let's put it this way, there's no guarantee that they're going to be good. That the AFC East is going to be wide open next year. The Bills are going to come back down to earth. Miami's coming up. Hopefully my Patriots can figure out how to throw a football more than 5 yards. We'll find out. We'll see.
Yeah,
I'm
interested to see where Carr goes. I think I mean, I think he didn't get treated too well in Vegas, but I mean, how good is Derek Carr? I don't even think we know the answer to that. I think he can be really good if he goes to the right system, but I think he has to get into that right system before anything else. I mean, if he, I like it, the Jets, I don't see him being able to succeed with the Jets. I just don't see that. So I'm with Joe Mack. It really depends on where Rodgers goes. That's when all the dominoes are going to start to fall.
There's not many teams that if you add Derek Carr to the team, you're like, this team's going from 8-9 to a playoff berth. Because, one of the rumored locations is the Titans. They might be separating from Ryan Tannehill. Is Derek Carr much better than Ryan Tannehill? Is that like your better option? Are you going to pay him?
Tannehill at least
a
can
year?
run, right? Tannehill is mobile. Carr's not.
I got a sweet spot. I got a little. I got love for Ryan Tannehill for his time spent in Miami. But Derek Carr is maybe one or two better spots higher than where Ryan Tannehill is. So it's not really an improvement to pay this guy $35 million to play quarterback for you.
Yeah. The only spot that makes sense is is what everyone keeps saying is the Saints is the only team that's been thoroughly interested in him. Cyrus is.
We got a Samsung.
Cyrus is here.
I love it.
Oh God!
Now I can take the picture for the Instagram story.
Yeah, that's all you're gonna be able to get. I don't think we're gonna see his face.
Oh, well, he's connecting the audio right now.
Well, you know what'll happen? The audio will come up, his computer will start working, and we'll hear double Cyrus.
Hey.
It's like the old days.
Better than zero Cyrus, though.
That is true.
That is very true.
I'm here.
Cyrus. Yes. We can't see you, though.
Where's your face?
There he is.
Hi, Cyrus.
Hi, Merritt.
I love it.
Me and my computer aren't vibing right now. I think it's upset because I haven't used it in a couple weeks.
Oh, wow. Well, you'll use it this week and next week, too, because you'll be back on. If you haven't noticed, you're going to be back on next week because the NBA All-Star Game's next week, this Sunday. So we'll be talking about that next week. So you have to be on.
That's right.
Man. Do we want to move on to Leland's favorite sport is back in session?
Yes.
Baseball. Spring training is right there. Pitchers and catchers reported, right?
Yeah, and I had no idea until this morning that pitchers and catchers reported today. So favorite sport, doing really well keeping up with things. But yeah, I'm excited. Being a Braves fan makes it easy to be excited because they're very good and very young and exciting. So should be a good year for them this year.
That'd be awesome. My Red Sox still suck. Chris Sale's throwing a baseball instead of sitting on the sideline or in the dugout. So
we'll see how long that lasts.
Yeah, it'll last like a week.
Brian Cashman needs to be fired.
Dude, isn't the Yankees like top pitcher out potentially for the full season I saw today?
Thankfully, he's our fifth starter, Freddie Montes.
Okay.
Frankie Montes, sorry. But he was our big mid-season trade deadline acquisition last year and was too hurt, had a bad shoulder, couldn't play in the down the stretch. And then when postseason rosters came around, too hurt, bad shoulder, couldn't play in the postseason. And today, the first day, so this is 4.5 months later, they report, pitchers and catchers, he's going to have shoulder surgery tomorrow and might be out the entire season.
Oh, my goodness.
It's like, jeez, man. You got to think of it.
What were you waiting on? Like,
that's like a story for the Red Sox. He had his shoulder issue, and it's like, you ended in fucking October because we suck. Like, why are you not getting this done 4 months ago?
Well, you know the reason is everybody wants to see if they can like if they can like rehab it out first before they do surgery. That's what everybody's excuse is. Oh, let's
True.
do rehab first. Let's do rehab first to see if we can get it through rehab, so that way we don't have to worry about waiting 4 months for you to get done the surgery.
Yeah, that's true. Still,
I think changing gears on baseball a little bit. I think I'm more excited for the World Baseball Classic than
Oh,
the start of the
yes,
regular
that's
season.
right.
when is that?
I believe it starts in April.
Really?
Nice.
Yeah, maybe end of March, somewhere around there, I think. But I am excited for that. That's going to be a lot of fun. And hopefully it gets more TV coverage than it got last time because
It's-
it didn't get enough.
It
Now,
starts
Leland,
March
are
7th.
are they doing like they did before? Like, are they stopping in the middle of the season and then coming back to baseball again? Or
I think they're ending spring training a little bit early. You
So,
said it started March 7th.
It starts March 7th, and the last game is March 21st. So they're gone for 2 weeks. So I think they'll have spring trainings going to keep going through.
Yeah.
It's just players like Mike Trout won't be there. Some other big name players will not be at spring training because they're going to be part of the World Baseball Classic, which is totally fine. They're still going to play a buttload of games and be ready for the start of the regular season come March 30th. So,
Yeah, and the U.S. roster is pretty stacked. So the U.S. should
Still
make a
won't
good
finish.
run.
Still won't finish in top 3 though.
I know, but I'm trying to be optimistic, trying to manifest it into actually happening. But yeah, there's no way they will.
Joe is so optimistic.
Did you see the Dominican Republic roster?
Yeah, it's absolutely insane.
Juan Soto, Manny Machado, Vlad Guerrero Jr., Carlos Santana, Nelson Cruz, Gary Sanchez, Luis Castillo, Julio Rodriguez. Rafael Devers is batting 8th for them.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
just might as well give him the trophy right now. Because
And do they
my
have-
gosh,
they have Vladdy's other son who can just rocket balls out of the ballpark too.
It's going to be the team they'll beat right there.
Oh
I don't
God!
think so.
As long
I
as they
mean,
have
Japan
decent
will be
pitching.
tough. Cuba will probably be pretty tough, but I mean, I would say the Dominican's the team to beat. I would watch for Japan though. I think Japan will make a good run just because of all the talent they have over there.
Simple fact that
Ohtani playing?
Israel's in this.
I don't know if Otani's playing or not.
okay.
No,
Because that would be a game changer if he is.
Hold on. I just saw this. I'm looking it up. So hold on. Let me see. I literally just saw the Japanese roster. Jesus. Korea. No. Yeah, Otani's playing.
Oh, gotta love it.
I mean, that makes every Japanese game must-see TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the new guy that the Red Sox signed on the roster too.
I would imagine so.
Yeah, Yoshida. Yeah.
You Darvish too.
If you Darvish can figure out how he, the way he was a couple of years ago and come back to that.
Listen, he had a really good year last year. He just didn't show up in the postseason.
Yeah.
He's on the
Padres.
Padres, yeah. I was gonna say I knew he was on the Rangers, but
He just got paid too.
Yep.
the Padres just somehow have millions and billions of dollars just sitting there to pay all these players and have 20 shortstops on their team.
Oh my
Yeah, that
gosh.
is. I mean, that's a good problem to have, I guess.
Yeah, taking my shortstop and assholes. God damn it. It's all in the Red Sox. They suck.
Okay.
Oh, look, you're back. Now he's on his
There we
actual
go.
computer.
Yeah, it's
There we go.
I'm telling you, me and my computer about to have it out, but
Oh,
it's
boy.
it's on me. That's on me because I normally it's on me.
You're all
You're
good,
good.
Cyrus.
I've had a long week, Phil. I've had a long week.
It's all good. No worries, because watch, in the middle of us, my thing might explode at some point too. So it's all
Yeah.
it's the name of the game.
With your luck, the way your computer's been working the past like 4 or 5 episodes, yeah, we're screwed.
Hey, don't jinx it because before I came on here, I restarted everything.
Don't say a word.
So everything's good. So yeah, so shut up, Merritt. Move on. All right, next topic. New Mexico State cancels the remainder of the basketball season. So, guys, have you guys heard of this that is going on?
I read about it a little bit. I read about it a little bit.
This
Yeah.
shit is crazy.
Like, I don't even know what to be. How does a Division One program get themselves into messes like this?
Because you're a first year coach who has no idea what they're doing, and you allowed a player to leave during curfew, go meet a chick or a girl because he thought she was attractive on her Instagram or whatever he found her on, and have his own gun and get shot at, and then turns around and shoots and kills somebody. And then the coach,
they didn't cancel the season after that. Like they
didn't even cancel the next game.
Part. Right. That's the mind-blowing part to me, that just went over okay. And then you have everything else coming out about hazing and everything. I mean, it just sounds like it was a shit show.
And you also hear about like the coach telling the basketball operations manager to take the gun away. Like he wasn't even on the bus when the cops stopped them, because they literally just told him, "Hey, we're going, let's go, we got the next game." And the cops are like, "Well, we still need to talk to everybody." Like there's a lot of evidence.
Right.
There's 2 players that went and picked up the gun from the player. The player left and went to the hospital because he got shot. It's mind-boggling that it took 2 months for this to end. And now the coach got fired.
Yep, he's done. Probably won't see another job for the next couple decades or ever.
He may not ever have a job in sports ever again. The athletic director, though, has still got a job. The president,
I don't see that lasting much longer.
Yeah, me neither.
Meaning the president of the university was like, "No, I come out and I'm supporting him." It's like, dude, no, you're not. You have
but unfortunately, they have to say that until that investigation is done. For the sake of it, like for the sake of saying something that it wasn't under the coach's control and he didn't know, like he truly didn't know, even though we know it's all BS. But say he didn't, like truly he didn't know, right? There are circumstances where the coach is oblivious up until like the very last minute, and once he found out there was nothing could have done about it because it wasn't gonna, he couldn't change, because they have like a certain time they could let the people know when they're going to stop the game, or when they're not going to do the game, and if they're going to fly, all that stuff. Obviously, you got to have a timetable, so that's probably what it is, right? You can't say it until you can't say it until you know with all the information, and then you can't really be like, well, forget it, until. So that's probably what it is at this point. Give us support until you can say, okay, well, no.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, we all know at the end of the academic year, most likely that athletic director's gone.
Yeah.
No doubt.
And we'll see. I don't know, but that's just crazy that they didn't do anything at all. They literally let him go play a basketball game the next day. And then
boggles my mind.
And then you have, sadly, what happened at Michigan State on Saturday. All athletic events have been canceled or postponed for the foreseeable future. So prayers out to those family and friends and everyone that was involved. But I'm going to drop this right now. I'm fucking sick of this shit. This stuff needs to end. Like, I know there's plenty of people that listen to this podcast. I don't care your political views, but when college kids or kids are getting shot, shit needs to end. Stuff needs to stop. So we have this platform. We can use it to however much we can. But I think all 5 of us on here can sit here and say it's senseless violence and things need to change drastically in this country.
Yep.
I agree. I mean, I even just point, you can go lower than that. We're talking about you can't even go to a high school or a middle school game without worrying about whether somebody's going to like pull a gun out, start a fight, or have anything is going to happen in the crowd, whether it be an adult or even a kid.
Yep.
You know,
And it's anywhere.
it's anywhere. It's
It-
yeah.
Yep.
Years ago when we were little kids, we all thought it was in no offense to cities, but it was always big cities were the targets. Big cities were the places that all this came from. It's not that. It's anywhere and everywhere in this country. That's the problem that we have to face as a society is this all happens because we allow it and we need to step up. So if you hear this, listen to us and you got more point of views or you actually understand this even more, let us know. We'd love to actually talk about it and dive deeper into this because it's something that it's mind-boggling to me.
It really is scary. I mean, how many of us here have had kids or coached and you constantly are telling your kids, listen, if you got a problem or something's going on, please come talk to me. Like, let me know. Let me try to help you out. So that way we're not, even if it's to the point, listen, I'll go talk to the principal or I got a friend that's a cop. He can come talk to you and you can explain what's going on and whatever it is, I just, there's like Merritt said, there's no need for this senseless violence. And the fact is that we allow it to keep happening as a country, as people, as a world, we keep letting it happen because we keep saying it's okay. And every time that we turn around and do that, we turn to political side. No, it's no longer political anymore. It's no longer political. This is about people's lives. This is about a kid who's 10 years old who can't grow up to do what he truly loves or wants to do.
Yeah.
That's very scary to see.
Yeah. And like Merritt was saying, when we were younger, it was, bigger cities. And I grew up in a real small town. And I saw yesterday that there were threats against the high school I went to. There's like 700 kids in that high school.
Dude,
it's crazy.
I went to a high school of 135 people. There have been bomb threats and stuff since there was a bomb threat when I was there, but no one took it credibly because it was like, no one's going to go after this size of a high school. There's 3 high schools within a 3-mile radius that are 900 to 1,000 plus students. But now you take it seriously because you don't know what's happening anymore in this world. So that's my soapbox. I'm going to get down off of it. We're going to say something really awesome at this point because it's the end of the weekly sports update. But the GOAT himself, Michael Jordan, is turning 60 this year. So for his 60th, his upcoming 60th birthday, he made the greatest donation Make-A-Wish has ever seen in their 42-year history of $10 million.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
Chump change for MJ.
Oh, God. Bro, he brings in so much money.
That's the total of last weekend's retro release.
No, that's today's the 85 Jordan 1 release today.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. When I saw that, I'm surprised that number is the highest ever. I feel like a program like Make-A-Wish, I feel like somebody would have ever donated more. But I think that's incredible.
With Make-A-Wish, people donate their time.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Yeah.
Cash. So, but hey, listen,
good for him.
MJ, man, I know he was a big contributor to the Mamba and Mambacita Foundation after Kobe and Gigi passed away. With all of the Black Lives movement that happened in 2020, I know he donated. Him and Jordan Brand donated $100 million to various pro-Black companies and foundations.
Yeah, it's over
for the next 10 years.
Yeah, it's $10 million for every 10 for every year for the next 10 years, which is fantastic.
And the funny thing is, I know Joe's getting ready to say this. I didn't want me to jump on top of it, but people say, "Oh, well, Jordan's not political." Jordan doesn't want to be political. As a matter of fact, if it wasn't for the fact that the number that he was giving out to Make-A-Wish, nobody would have ever known that he was giving him $10 million.
No.
If he had just given whatever normal person gives, million here, 2 million, whatever it is, it wouldn't even make big news. The fact that it was $10 million and it was the biggest they had, that's what made the news.
Yep.
But Jordan just wants to give it, do what you need to do with it and move on. Not that he doesn't care about it, but listen, he knows listen, it's not his thing. It's not, he's going there, he's trying to help, he's trying to do his thing. I don't understand why people try to make a bigger deal than what it is out of it, but
Yeah. I just think it's a fantastic move by Jordan.
It is.
I just love it.
Agreed.
All right, Leland, I'm going to throw this one to you because this is about West Virginia basketball.
That's right.
Can I just get your honest thoughts on the past 2 games?
I mean, they've been 2 no-shows, basically. That's what it is. When you have guys who are supposed to be your best players throwing the ball out of bounds, just like not deflected, not interfered with whatsoever, just throwing the ball out of bounds. It's just guys no-showing. That's all it is. And this team's been up and down all conference year. I mean, before we got into the conference schedule, there were a couple games when they looked unbeatable. They just looked absolutely unstoppable. The Big 12's a grind. There's no doubt about that. But I love Bob Huggins, but I'm starting to wonder if the game is passing him by. The college game, not the game of basketball, recruiting, the transfer portal, everything that goes along with that. Because our buddy Nick Arthur sent out a tweet, I think yesterday, that showed Big 12 recruiting for next year, 4- and 5-star recruits. Every team in the Big 12 has at least 1 4- or 5-star recruit, except West Virginia. West Virginia has no signees for next year. There's a massive issue with recruiting right now. Just an absolutely massive issue with recruiting. And I think part of it is the college kids have changed. They don't want to play for Hugs and his style of coaching anymore, which is fine. That's totally fine. I get it. I also think that we needed some fresh blood in the coaching staff. Look what happened when Larry Harrison got fired. Completely different team since he got fired. Now, we looked awful this weekend. But before that, since DeMar
Johnson.
Yeah, DeMar Johnson. Since DeMar Johnson got to WVU, it's been a completely different team defensively and offensively. So I'm going to wait and see what happens this weekend before I pass any real hard judgments. But the team's no good. The team sucks. Like I have no.
Let me ask you guys a question now. So Leland Joe, and everybody else in the panel, right? Would you say that if Bob Huggins was to step down as coach, do you think he'd be better off going to like the pros or just stepping away from basketball, period?
No, Bob Huggins would 100% retire as a Mountaineer.
He's not going to coach anywhere else.
Yeah, he'd be on the panel Saturday
No,
morning.
I don't know. I don't even think he would do that.
I agree with Joe. I think
Really?
with the money, I think he could get he could be like a very similar to Seth Greenberg, be a personality.
Yeah.
And just like how Bob Knight was, if you remember when we were in school, I think he'll make some money. He did some of it for CBS when we were out of the tournament last year. Yep. And my only question is now, who do you replace him with? Now that would be a journey that we would have to take time to really try and figure out, because it would take some time for that search, because when you're replacing a legend who is from there, went to school there, it meant everything to him to come back home. They're going to want to take their time with that type of decision.
And he's going to be part of that decision.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. He will make the decision ultimately.
Yeah.
And that's fine. I think there are 2 choices for his replacement that stand out more than any other. First is Joe Mazzulla, but Mazzulla is not leaving the NBA unless he gets fired, which I don't blame him. I wouldn't either. And then the other choice is Darius Nichols. Nichols is doing great things at Radford right now. They're a pretty damn good team when they've been terrible for the past few years. Can he recruit? Yeah, he recruited pretty well when he was an assistant at Florida. He's a Huggins guy, so he's my personal choice. That's who I would want to take over.
Radford's a D1 school, right?
Yeah, they're low.
But it's a small school, right?
They're a low tier D1 school that's hasn't been good for years.
Yeah,
but let's be honest, Joe Mazzulla is probably going to be the next actual head coach of the Celtics after this year. Yeah, he's never leaving.
It's great. No, he shouldn't. And I mean, there are other guys that are mid-major coaches that I think could make sense. I don't know. West Virginia has an issue with going after West Virginia people when they're trying to hire for positions like that. It, for better or for worse, that's just the way it is. So because Nichols played for Huggins and went to WVU, he probably makes the most sense. And I mean, I do think he would do a good job. I think he's done such a good job. He's been an assistant at so many high places that he deserves at least a look.
Yeah, I actually agree with you on that one. I think me and Merritt a couple episodes ago we talked about like who would you start, and I remember Darius Nichols was on my list as well. So, in due time, I think Huggins' contract is coming up either the end of this year, end of next year.
I think it's next year's his
It's
contract.
next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, end of next year. So it depends on how we end this season and if there's any more changes that are going to happen to the coaching staff in the off season. It'll definitely be something interesting because, like you said, I saw that also, Leland, and how we don't have anybody ready for next year. And that is, I don't know if they're just preparing for something else, whether it's transfer portal. But again, I think we're in the age of the whole one and done and trying to do a super team with a bunch of good players is just not going to work anymore. If you look at the way that the year is now, we talked about how college football is so upside down. All those teams that were recruiting one and dones, they're at the bottom of the polls right now. And it's the teams that have had guys that stay 2-3 years. They're the ones at the top of the polls. So we're going to take, I'm going to be patient like you, Leland. I'm going to wait it out, see what happens. And then we'll probably have another episode all on that at some point. So,
well, let's be honest.
Yeah.
If we make the tournament, Huggins stays around. Huggins will stay for another year anyway. He'll finish out his contract. Say we don't make the tournament, that's going to be a serious conversation with him and Ren on, all right, I think we need to start doing the coaching search now. Next year is my final year here. I want my replacement to be set up way before I'm done so that we're ready to go for the following year.
Well, you would want him. You want the guy. You want your predecessor in so that way he can start the recruiting process.
Yeah.
Right.
To get other players in, because I'm pretty sure. Well, I'm pretty sure if I was looking at the team the other day, they have about 4 or 5 upperclassmen that can either leave or this is their last year.
Yeah.
And being that they're not bringing in a heavily recruited class, they're going to have to kind of start the process of recruiting to get up the guys to come in, and they're probably going to have to do transfer portal just to make sure that team is filled for the most part.
Yep.
So
Yeah, I think so. And I'd say Hugs on his contract. I don't see him coaching for any more than 5 more years. If that, maybe 3 is the max. He's just getting old. And I mean, I don't know. He did recruit the transfer portal well this year compared to what he did last year. Last year, he brought in group of 5 players, like mid-major players. This year, he brought in Power 5 players. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. If I would love it if like the guys we brought in had another year or two. If they had another year, I think we'd be insanely good next year. But with that, I don't know. But I feel good about the transfer portal because I don't worry about NIL deals because I know WVU is paying a shit ton of money to some of these players, which I didn't expect because I didn't think WVU had the alumni base and the donors that had enough money to really make a difference. But from what I've been hearing around town, players are getting paid 6 digits, which shocked me. So
good to know my college tuition went somewhere out here.
Yeah.
Yep. Paid for something.
Yeah, so
all right.
We'll see.
Yep.
That's all I know to say about it.
All right, Kevin. What kind of shirt you got on tonight so that we can go right into your wrestling stuff?
Yes, that's right. While we're all here. So this is dedicated to my WCW guys for Joe Mac and Leland. This is a WCW crew t-shirt that I conveniently bought on eBay during the holidays. I will go ahead and text you the actual back because I can't turn around because I'm stuck. But
I don't want to ask why you're stuck.
Please don't leave.
Well,
Jeez,
because I'm
please.
heavy. It's the way of
Yeah,
life.
I wasn't gonna go there. I wasn't gonna go there, Mary.
I just texted the group. You probably can tell what pay-per-view this is. It's for Fall Brawl. It's a crew shirt from 1995. And I believe, if I remember correctly, that Fall Brawl had, I think it was when they had the Kevin Sullivan's group of guys versus like Luger. Yep, Luger, Sting, Macho, and Hogan, all dressed in fatigues. One of my favorite pay-per-views till this date. And I had to get the spirit going. Which is funny because my shirt matches Merritt's hat. Merritt, what's your hat?
I'm just going to go with old school Bass Pro today.
Look at you, crushing it.
You know, it's getting to that time of year where it's starting to get a little springtime. So, you know, pull this hat out.
I dig it. Now, this is Merritt's favorite time because this is where Merritt shuts the hell up for once. And all he has to do is pull names out of a hat later. He's already set up. I'm proud of him. But first off, on a somber note, if you guys saw, we lost Jerry Jarrett today. Father of Jeff Jarrett, the creator of the original TNA, not Total Nonstop Action Wrestling promotion, passed away at 80. So condolences to him. Jeff Jarrett apparently is going to be still wrestling on Dynamite tonight, which I'm very surprised. But did you guys know anything about Jerry Jarrett or anything else that fun facts you have on him?
I know he invested or started TNA with Jarrett because he needed money for a startup after his failed time in WCW and all the other places. He started up with TNA and Impact Wrestling. He was the one actually him and Jeff, him and his son actually started it up. So, you know, that was the backbone that piled the money up. But, you know, but that's the only thing. That's the only thing I knew about him. I knew he was deep into the Deep South wrestling. A lot of the wrestling promotions in the Deep South too.
Down south.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't want to jump on the body while it's still cold over here, but can we talk about how Jeff Jarrett is still wrestling for a minute? Like,
you know what's crazy
rest in peace, Jerry,
right.
to his father, but Jeff Jarrett's got to be in his early 60s at this point. And this guy's still breaking guitars over people's heads. Come on now.
But it's crazy because he looks phenomenal. You wouldn't even tell how old he is.
Sign me up to look like that when I'm his age.
I don't know what is going on in the AEW waters, but you got Sting, you got Jeff Jarrett. I don't know what they're diving into down there, but it's making everybody go back to the 90s, which is crazy.
Well, you know what it is. You know what it really is, Kev. They're not making him do a lot of appearances. Like a lot, it's a lot of
There's no house shows. Like the AEW doesn't have any house shows going on right now because what are they gonna do? Because all of them do independents. Like we see them on independents on the regular. Leland, did you have any additional thoughts to Sir Jerry Jarrett?
No, I mean, just a giant in the wrestling world, especially in the promotional era back in the 70s and 80s. I mean, he was Deep South wrestling for the most part.
Yes. All right. So now as we move on, we are officially on the road to WrestleMania. So I'm sure you guys saw the Royal Rumble. We all were group chatting it up during the time. What were your initial thoughts at the end of it? I thought the ending at the end was probably one of the best reactions and set the scene that I've seen probably in the last decade. What are your guys' thoughts there?
Well, last decade, I'm 33 years old. I've been following wrestling since I knew how to turn a television on, and it's the most compelling television I've ever seen, point blank, period. I was a sucker. I used to watch the TV show Lost back in the day. I thought that was good television. The Bloodline storyline needs to be nominated for a primetime Emmy, okay? Sami Zayn and Roman and Paul Heyman. We got to give Paul Heyman his flowers on this podcast, fellas, because
yes,
there's always been conversation who's the best manager, who's the best valet, Miss Elizabeth, Paul Bearer? The answer is Paul Heyman. Period. Point blank. He has made everything going on with this bloodline storyline the last year and a half that much more interesting because of the manipulation he's been doing. And sign me all the way up for everything they've done with this storyline.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's been great. To be honest, I was a little disappointed with the Rumble until that match.
Yeah.
I thought that the end of the Rumble was the best ending to a pay-per-view I've seen ever. I mean, honestly, it was so good. But beyond that, I thought the rest of the card was kind of a disappointment. I mean, I thought the Pitch Black match looked cool. It looked really cool. But what was the point? What was the point of it? I don't know.
I think there's a bigger payoff for that, though. Just thinking that. I think it's a bigger payoff for that.
Yeah,
I think it's a bigger payoff for
Mountain Dew payoff.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. I thought the men's Rumble, I mean, if Cody would have came in the middle, I thought that would have been better. Him coming at 30, you knew what was going to happen. But him and Gunther put on a hell of a show at the end of the match. I mean, that was awesome. But it was really predictable. You knew Rhea was going to win the women's Rumble. I thought the women's Rumble was pretty good too. Not their best one, but it was all right. But other than that, I mean, the show was kind of a disappointment until the main event.
Actually, you know, the funny thing is, from my understanding, from what I heard, Rhea initially was not supposed to win. It was supposed to be Sasha and Naomi that they were going to have win the women's Royal Rumble, but because they didn't come back, they couldn't write it because that's literally why they gave Charlotte the belt. Remember, coming right back, they were going to try to pit either the four horsewomen back. They were going to try to do some sort of form of faction, something. They were trying to get Naomi to go with the bloodline. They were trying to do a whole bunch of stuff because they wanted to have like a big thing for WrestleMania. Bloodline, they wanted to see the bloodline get all the belts, or have them somehow get all the belts. Same thing with, or maybe they were going to try to, because the biggest thing that they said, they were trying to see if they could split the belts up and get one faction to have them on one side, one faction to have them on another, and then have them fight at WrestleMania to combine both of them again. That didn't happen because Sasha didn't come back, and neither did Naomi. The same thing with the men's Royal Rumble. I heard that they weren't necessarily going to have Cody win it, but in the middle of, I guess, them trying to figure it out, I guess whoever was supposed to fight Roman for this elimination chamber kind of just wasn't there, or they didn't feel it. So they switched it up and let Cody win it. So now Cody's going to be.
The thing that I was so shocked is like they gave Cody everything. They gave him the beginning promo. They let him know. They gave him the announcement he's going to the Rumble. Then they let him know that he's going to be in the Rumble and the training montage. And then all of a sudden you realize, oh my God, he's going to be number 30. Like normally you only get like a piece of that, but they gave him all of it, which I was shocked. Right. Which then after thinking back, I think they possibly needed to do all that because of what they were going to do at the end with Sammy. Because if you think about it, and I was trying to think about it, and I hear it on my podcast. I know Joe's got the shirt on, Cheap Heat. They mentioned it. Yep, that's a hell of a shirt. I love it. They talked about can you imagine if Cody entered around in the middle, then they were probably going to think that Sami Zayn's probably number 30. And then if he didn't come out, then the crowd was going to give the treatment of the Daniel Bryan treatment and then start shit on the show. So to prevent that, they just let Cody do the whole thing, let him know that Cody's probably is going to Mania, and then shock the hell out of us with what happened at the end. Which
But if you think about it, right? If the plan they came through like they thought they were going to, and Triple H is going to get Sasha and Naomi to come back, they would have put that bloodline would have all the belts. They would the women's championship that Roman would have had, the Universal or whatever belt he was going to have over there, and the Usos going to have the tag team belts, and then they would have had, then maybe the Judgment Day would have had the other set of the belts on the other side, or however they were going to work that out. That would have set up, honestly, that WrestleMania would have set up to be one hell of a WrestleMania because then you could have had that going into the Survivor Series season, setting them up to have that War Games type of mentality where you were going to have a couple different factions going in there and actually having. So that was going to be, again, another homegrown talent thing. And then the next thing with the NXT, they still got people from NXT that they're bringing up in the possibility. So it was going to be this year was going to be big for them, and the shame that they couldn't bring everybody back to get it the way they wanted.
What I'll say real quick about the Rumble, Kev, is like, yeah, they telegraphed their shot with Cody, with the training montages, his announcement he's going to be coming back, the announcement about the Rumble, and then putting him at the 30th. But like, anybody else wins the Rumble, and there's a 0% chance they go over Roman Reigns at WrestleMania.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Right.
Let's be realistic for a second. There's nothing more than I want to see than like the underdog story, the Daniel Bryan Yeselmania, the Kofi Kingston Kofi Mania. That stuff, both of those WrestleManias were incredible.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't feel the same way about Sami Zayn as I felt about Bryan Daniels or Daniel Bryan and Kofi. I know that the way that they're kind of manipulating this storyline is something's going to happen at Elimination Chamber, whether it's Jay turning on Sami or Jay rejoining the bloodline, and then that sets up the Usos versus Sami and KO for WrestleMania. Yeah. That's cool. That's awesome. But if you put anybody else, you pull Cody out for a little bit, and you put anybody else in that point at WrestleMania, win the Rumble position, there's nobody else in the company who's believable.
Right.
And you have this guy who's in the 3-piece suit, who has the legacy, who came back from AEW, who's been given the, lack of a better term, the reins or the keys to the vehicle, and I'm good with it. I'm good with everything that's going on right now.
Joe, do you think that they'll split the belts up? They'll split the belts up from Roman?
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. I think, and I don't know, Kevin, I don't want to talk too much here. I don't know if you want us to preview WrestleMania or give thoughts, or if I should just spill the beans now.
Spill it.
I think the entire bloodline loses everything at WrestleMania.
I do too.
And it's not because they don't deserve to continue on. It's because they've all been doing this for 2 years. Let them all catch their breath, go on vacation. Mm-hmm. Jay's wife, Naomi, is not with the company anymore. Let them spend time together. Mm-hmm. Roman can go film 9 movies this summer if he wants. Go for it. When it comes to splitting the belts up, if it is indeed Cody that goes over and wins both belts, I think you retire both belts and you bring back one belt. You come just World Heavyweight Championship, and you do it that way. It doesn't got to be the throwback. It doesn't have to be the old school. Just one belt, one champion, a fighting champion for both shows. No need for 2 belts anymore.
No, I agree. I think, they've been doing this for 2 years. We have been dealing with the bloodline all the way during the pandemic era. And I agree, the Empire is going to fall. Because if they didn't fall, then you have just created a monster that you may not be able to get out of. Because I was going to ask in my next iteration of our segments, I think the bloodline would have been too. They at the moment, a couple months ago, they're just too powerful for WWE booking. Who in your right minds is beating them? There is nobody. You go up and down that roster and be like, yeah, they might get one run over, but there's probably going to be a storyline where the belts go back. There's nobody that can beat them. So the Empire at some point has to fall, and I think it is falling in Hollywood. So with that, I'm going to skip my next question because I think we already talked about it, Elimination Chamber, and then it kind of goes into my little game. So I have a little game of buy or sell. Okay, Merritt has given some news. Oh, I don't like that
Can't roll
news.
my eyes hard enough at that.
Yep, we're not going to
Yeah.
talk any more about that. That sucks. Moving on.
Wow.
So, yeah, I can't believe it either. So, with that, we're gonna play a little game of buy or sell. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 little categories, and we're gonna go through some. You guys pick out a number. Joe Mac, you give me a number from 1 to 6.
3.
All right. Oh, this is gonna be a fun one. So, number 3. AEW continue to pay up for licensed music, buy or sell.
To be honest with you, it really doesn't do anything for me.
Okay.
I dug Orange Cassidy's music before he switched over.
Mm-hmm.
I dug Kenny Omega's theme and the Young Bucks theme before they switched over.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't get me much more hyped up. Maybe I haven't seen them in person. I haven't been to an in-person show since the spring of last year. So maybe in person's a little bit different. But, the only one that I really dig when it comes to the licensing of the music is for Jungle Boy Jack Perry. That's the only one that, does anything for me music-wise. But I'm not against it. Tony Khan's cutting blank checks left and right. So if that's what he wants and if that's what his wrestlers want, so be it.
Yeah. I agree with that. I mean, I'm with you on Orange Cassidy. I thought his music before was fine. I like Jane, and I know that's what he used in the Indies, so it makes sense. The Elite coming out to carry on Wayward Son, it does nothing for me. I mean, it's cool. It's cool, but like it doesn't really do anything for me. The funniest one, in my opinion, was licensing Round Ball Rock and playing that at random times throughout Dynamite. Like that one always made me laugh because when I hear Round Ball Rock, I think of the NBA on NBC. That's the first thing I always think of. So to hear that, like advertising a random Wardlow and Samoa Joe match or something like that, it just always made me laugh.
I love it. What about you, Cyrus?
It really, honestly, I feel like the same. I feel the same as Leland and Joe. It really doesn't do anything for me. Like I like Orange Cassidy music from before. The Elite music when they were coming in wasn't horrible. Who changed their music? If somebody else changed it, like even like Moxley's music, like I honestly thought Moxley music the first time around was way better than what he had than what he has now, only because it fit what he was. Like
I will say though, I've watched Moxley when he comes out to Wild Thing live, and it's pretty fun to just see him rocking with the crowd and living his good life, sober life.
The song itself is great. Don't get me wrong. The song itself is great. What I'm saying is, I know that's not him because they're doing it to try to placate to like everybody else, switching their music up to some sort of, authentic song or whatever it is. It just doesn't do anything for me. You know what I mean?
Beautiful. All right. Cyrus, if we ended with you, give me a number. Oh, not except for 3, between 1 through 6.
5.
Okay. 2, 3, 4, 5. Rock and Roman. Is there still a chance?
No.
Sucks, right? I feel like that would have been really great for Hollywood, but just a downer that, like, I know they tried to tease it so many different times and it just didn't happen to work. And it sucks that The Rock is just busy.
Think that would, I honestly, even if he had even if they could have got him to come back and do it, I don't think it would have. Here's the thing, right? Storyline wise, how might it sell that? Because my storyline would be The Rock comes over and takes the crown from Roman for the family. But if Rock isn't staying for a whole 2 years, how might have flipped that?
Yeah.
There's no way to flip. There's no way to flip that. Rock has to stay for at least 2 years in order for me to flip that. It's just the way that has to work. So
I don't know about that. I think you could pull in Austin and just have a one night only spectacular because we knew Austin was a part of WrestleMania last year. We didn't know exactly what he was going to be on the KO show, is what we heard.
Right, but they were talking about Joe. They, from what I heard, from what
Yep.
I've seen, what I see, they say they were talking about him actually beating Roman, taking the titles.
Nah. Rock don't need belts no more.
I know that, but they were trying because they wanted him to take over. They wanted him to say that he was the real true king of the bloodline. That's what they were trying to get.
I think The Rock has a lot of respect. Are you guys watching Young Rock?
That's
I catch it
phenomenal.
every now and then.
I usually
Every now
just
and then,
watch it
yeah.
on Peacock and watch like the WWE sections. They're great.
There's like a lot of Easter eggs throughout the episodes.
Mhm.
And one of the Easter eggs on one of the episodes earlier this season was when The Rock was 8 or 9 years old. You see him running around at a barbecue and he's playing tag with some other young kids. And one happens to be Roman Reigns. So like one of the things that was mentioned in that was like, oh, we're not going to have a fake wrestling match now. This backyard barbecue isn't a big enough scene for a Roman Reigns versus The Rock match. It needs something bigger, like a WrestleMania. In regards to story, they could still make it work even without advertising that The Rock is going to be there. Because you can have something like Cody goes over Roman night 1, and then Roman comes out on night 2, and he's like, I don't need these belts. I'm still the head of the table. I'm still the bloodline. This is still my island of relevancy. And anybody in my family or elsewhere have anything to say about it, come out here and beat me now. And then The Rock can come out. And I think if that happens, I think Roman goes over The Rock. There's no need for The Rock to win this.
I can see that.
The Rock wants one more match, and all the old school wrestlers, including The Rock and his father, his grandfather, everybody, when it's your time to go, you go out on your back and you go and you do the job for the next man.
That's true.
Yeah.
Who
That's
knows?
true.
That's
Yeah,
Max fantasy booking.
I would love to see something like that. The Rock is going to wrestle one more time. He's not going to go out not wrestling one more match.
Yeah.
Whether that's this year, next year, it's going to happen. I can see what you're saying, Joe, but Cody's going over Roman. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that Cody's going over Roman. So unless they do something like you said, Joe, I just don't know how they fit it in. So maybe next year. Who knows?
I love it. All right. Where we have 1, 2. All right. I'm just going to list the last ones that I got left. This is an AEW one. The Acclaim's tag title reign ended too early.
I buy that. I mean, I like the Guns. I think the Guns are going to be very, very good. They're so improved from even a year ago. I think they're going to be good, but I think AEW fell into the trap of having Billy Gunn with the Acclaim still. I understand Scissor Me Daddy Ass is over. I mean, insanely over. But
I think he got way more over than I thought it would ever get over.
Oh, yeah, 100%. They caught lightning in a bottle because they were not expecting it to get over the way it did. But what do you do with that when you have Billy Gunn and you still have Billy Gunn's sons there? I'm waiting on Billy to turn on the Acclaim. I think that's coming. I think that's definitely coming. Probably at Revolution. I think they'll have a rematch, and I think he'll turn there. So
when is Revolution?
Revolution is March 5th, I think.
Okay.
But it's tough because I think AEW dug themselves into a no-win situation there. You can't just have the Acclaim continue to go over everybody and not really have a challenge. Are the Guns ready to be tag team champions? We'll see. But I think it can be interesting when you add Billy into the equation.
I'm over the Acclaimed personally. I love the shtick. It's popular. I love the freestyle as Max comes to the ring. But the thing that AEW has over WWE is tag team and trio wrestling. It's the best tag teams in the stinking world are in AEW. How come the Lucha Brothers have never faced the Acclaim for the titles?
Yeah.
How come House of Black has never faced the Acclaim for the titles?
FTR.
Best Friends have had one match in 2.5 years against the Acclaimed. You know what I mean? Nick and Matt are still one of the best tag teams in the world. And I understand they're the trio champs, and I understand as producers you want to kind of avoid putting too many belts on the same people. But it's just, it was very unrealistic. They were the champions. They caught fire. They had the support of the crowd. Awesome fan service. Put the belts on the Guns. Let them run with it to Revolution. Maybe they beat the Acclaimed again because of Billy Gunn. And then FTR comes out to face them next. Boom, FTR wins the tag belts.
Beautiful. All right, Cyrus, I'm going to give you the last one.
Okay.
Buy or sell Logan Paul as WWE champion.
I saw that one. I can't see it. I mean, again, I can't see it.
You can just see the heel he would bring and how he could go ahead and just bring that WWE title everywhere with his prime drink and put it all over social media.
The reason
Like
I
how
can't,
Bad Bunny carried the 24/7.
The reason I can't is because he is bad.
Merritt has a thumbs down. Merritt says thumbs down.
As bad as he wants to be a heel, you can see it in his face. He wants to be liked by everybody. He wants to be the baby face, and that, to me, that never works out because he'll have. And even though I know nowadays in wrestling there is no baby face, there's no good, no bad, just guys in between. But when you don't understand how to stay within your lane, it shows. And I can't really see him being the face of the company with the belt and not knowing how that plays out. Hell, even Roman Reigns going on the Tonight Show talks smack about his opponent that he's facing. And they all know it's like, oh, well, him and Sammy are really cool, and backstage when they chopping it up. But, when he goes out there, he talks smack about him like it's like a regular day to him. I can't see Logan Paul doing that I can't see Logan Paul doing that, especially with between the podcast and the shows he does and even going on the late night stuff. I can't see him doing that.
Gotcha. Joe or Leland, anything to add before we move on?
I can't see putting the belt on him, but I love Logan Paul. I think even though he only shows up a few times a year, he's one of their top 10 in-ring guys. Like, he's just naturally good at pro wrestling. And I would have never expected that, but he is so fun to watch.
Yeah, I'm good with him popping in for a Mania or a Rumble or a Saudi show. He'll never have the championship belt. Put it this way, Bad Bunny will be WWE champion before this guy will. All right? But I'm cool with it. Maybe Jake Paul comes to his senses and also signs a WWE contract one day.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
Ruckus as like literally the biggest heels in the history of the company. But until then, I'm good with the flying lariat once a year taking off his head with Ricochet at the same time in the Rumble.
That was such a cool spot.
That was a dope spot, not gonna lie. All right, guys. That was my filler time. It is draft time here at the Manly Musings podcast. We got Merritt. He has his little papers. He's gonna go ahead and select. So again, it's good. So we have, you're gonna pick a world champ, tag champ, a mid-card guy, a ladies champ. For the women, up and coming star. You get an additional pick, and then my newest ad, enhancement talent. Your guy that's gonna be there to make guys look good. They're gonna make them stars, to test them out, and he's gonna get paid, take some losses. So Merritt, the drum roll is drumming, and who has first overall pick?
and just so you know, I wrote these like 20 minutes ago. I don't remember whose is whose. Don't remember any of this. So do not yell at me if Kevin gets the first pick, like you guys have the past like 3 times.
Hey, listen. We just can't. We can't have the repeat of last time that me, you, and him were on, and he had that little. Remember, he said at the. I'm not gonna repeat what he said. Remember, he said at the end of the thing. Yeah. Remember, we had to tell Andrew to edit it out.
I
Yeah, we
remember
can't
that.
have that again.
Yeah,
have
none
that
of that again, Kevin.
No, yeah.
If you say that stuff, we will end you. First overall pick
I don't even remember what the hell I said.
is Joe Mack.
Joe Mack. Let's go.
Finally, he gets his glory. Gets the glory. All right.
I bet you it's Leland number 2.
Number 2. Mr. Cyrus Jones, the Blue Duke Devil himself.
Cyrus Johnson. Remember, it's Cyrus Johnson.
Oh, God, I'm just losing
That
it.
is name right.
It's all right. Listen, stick with Jones. If you like Jones, go ahead, stick with it.
We're gonna stick with it.
Leland now, so Kevin has last.
I'm going to end up getting last. I already feel it.
Mr. Leland Reed.
I freaking knew it. Like,
And last but not least, the co-host.
Merritt's
Kevin.
favorite co-host. Nice. All right.
I don't
Joe?
know. Cyrus is coming to climb him up that ladder, just so you know.
Hey, shout out to you, Cyrus.
I try.
All right, Joe, you, sir, with your first overall pick, who do you got?
Cody Rhodes next.
All right, Cody, that was easy. Cody Rhodes.
Need
Wow.
somebody else besides who I got. So
All right,
first
Cyrus.
pick, so.
Wow, as a world champ, huh? Woo, boy.
Go big or go home, right?
Yes, it's.
I feel fancy this year because I have a list written out so I can like figure this life. Joe has a spreadsheet.
Oh, dude, he showed me that earlier. Oh my God.
Who we got, Cyrus?
You know what? I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with Bobby Roode. How about that? I'm gonna go Bobby Roode.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm
Wow.
going Bobby Roode.
Where
Going off
is
the
he?
cuff here.
Where are you going? Mid? Is he your mid Carter?
No, I'm gonna make him my world champ, man.
Oh, you're gonna make him your world.
World
Oh,
champ,
wow.
yeah.
All right.
I need some
I
glory.
love that pick.
All right. I like it. He's glorious.
Yes, glorious.
Leland.
I'll stick with the world champ theme and go a little off script here with somebody that probably wouldn't be expected, but I'll go Nick Aldis as my world champ.
Oh, I love that pick.
I actually
Alright.
saw him in person in Grafton, like where I grew up at the fair. He wrestled there in front of maybe 20 people.
That's legit.
Yeah, it was cool.
I love it. Was that for like All-Star Wrestling?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to check out All-Star Wrestling down in West Virginia because he brings in a lot of like good people over there.
Yeah, it was good.
All right, so I get 2, which is fun. All right, so I'm gonna go mid card. I've had my eye on him for the last couple times. I'm going Solo Sikoa as my mid card guy. And
Wait, Kevin.
yes.
I want to offer you a trade for this pick.
Oh boy.
Okay.
I want to give you Bray Wyatt and Saraya for this pick.
Wow. Okay. Can I give you a counter offer?
Sure.
Give
I'm not gonna get
me
accepted, but that's okay.
Bray Wyatt. You may keep Saraya, but allow me to have your up and coming stars pick.
Sure.
So, all right, boom, that's your trade.
Okay.
So Solo Sikoa has been traded.
Well,
to-
no. You keep Solo. I want the pick. The next.
you want the next pick.
Yeah, I'm afraid Leland's gonna steal my next pick, so I need to get ahead of him.
Okay. All right. So
you keep Solo,
so I can keep Solo.
and then instead of taking a pick, you take Bray,
Okay.
and
can
I take the pick.
All right. So then your Bray was he your heavyweight?
No, Bray was one of my
Your additional selections.
additional selections. But you can put him wherever you want, man. He's got like 7 personalities.
That is very true. You know what?
You can have him. You can have him. And I'll give
We're
you-
having-
You had 7 personalities.
We're having
Joe,
some fun.
Joe, do you have how many personalities do you have?
Listen, I'll give you
Oh.
Bray Wyatt and the Fiend and Uncle Howdy.
All right. So, wow, that
Cyrus
guy that
really
got
went there.
really. That got
Joe
really
never answered my
crazy.
question though.
So, all right. So I keep Solo, and then you get my next pick.
And then you take Saraya too. I was gonna cut her anyway.
You were gonna cut Soraya.
Yeah.
So I will
Wow.
take Soraya now somewhere, and
Yeah,
then
throw her in.
I
throw
have-
her in the back.
all
put
right,
her
and I have your up and comer comes to me then.
Yep. Whenever you want, it's yours.
All right. So wow, that got really scary. All right, Leland. Or I'm sorry, Joe. Go ahead.
So I already have Rhea Ripley and Finn Balor. So I'm completing the set, and I'm drafting the Judgment Day, Damian Priest and Dominic Mysterio.
Oh wow, that just got super interesting. All right, so
I just love that Leland's over here just going, "Yep, you son of a gun."
They were on my list. They're not who I was going to pick next, but they were on my list.
so hold on. We got Joe Mack. He got Judgment Day. Beautiful. Oh my god, look at this. Judgment Day.
Joe still has answered my question though. Joe, how
I
many
have 7
personalities?
personalities. Like
Man.
one for
We
each
should-
day of the week.
Do we need to ask your wife how many personalities you have?
Listen,
All right.
she'd tell you double what I told you.
Love it, Joe.
All right.
Love it, Joe.
All right. So, all right. I think Cyrus, you're up.
No, it should be me.
Oh,
It
Leland,
should be
you're up.
Leland, yeah.
Go ahead,
Yeah.
sir.
All right, I'm actually going to go with my additional selection, I think, and I'm going to go with Logan Paul in this slot.
Oh, Logan Paul
Wow.
got some celebrity in him. All right, beautiful. Cy?
All right, so I'm going to go with my woman's champ. I'm going to go with Tony Storm.
She was on my list. Damn. Tony Storm. All right. And Joe, you're up for 2.
The best thing you said to me all day, Kevin. I'm going to continue on this dominant draft I'm having.
Oh boy.
And for my women's champion, I'm going to draft the current AEW women's
Damn
champion,
it.
Jamie Hayter.
Oh, man. Okay.
And then, so I've done world heavyweight, I've done tag, I've done women's. I'm gonna go a little off kilter here. I'm gonna go enhancement talent with this pick,
Okay.
just because he might be one of my favorite wrestlers comically over the last 15, 20 years. And he's always down to pull out a ladder in the middle of a Royal Rumble match or show up to the women's Royal Rumble match. Let me get R-Truth.
One of the best to do it out here. One of the best. All right.
If they don't put him in the Hall of Fame, it's a damn shame.
Yep.
No, he's guaranteed. He is
Yeah.
100%
He's as
guaranteed.
good as they come.
Yup.
And the funny thing is, I think let's say it's about 5 years ago. Somebody did an article or something on him, and they asked him, like, do you try? They were asking basically, essentially, do you want to be like WWE World Champion, or is that some of your goals or whatever it is? He was like, listen, I've tried, I've been there. That's just not my thing. He wants to be entertaining. He wants to be. He still wants to. He's still rapping. I mean, he still put out rap albums.
He's the
From what I heard.
definition of an
Cyrus.
entertainer.
Cyrus,
Yes.
I'd like to offer you a trade.
Oh boy.
I'd like to give you all 3 members of Toxic Attraction for your up and coming stars pick. So you would get Gigi, JC, and Mandy Rose. And I will take your up and coming stars pick. So that means I would have 2 up and coming stars picks.
I'm gonna take that. I want my
Okay.
toxic attraction.
All
I'm gonna
right.
take that.
Cool. All right.
Personal reasons. Personal reasons.
Amazing.
It's all
All right.
personal for Cyrus right now.
That's personal reasons. That's
No wonder
just-
Cyrus's computer doesn't work.
Shots
Shots
fired, Joe. I like that. Okay. Okay.
Andy Rose got her own, what is it, fans page?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Cyrus knows all about that.
Cyrus,
Hey,
your
listen.
wife doesn't know about that, does she?
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about at all. Not at all.
All right. So, Leland, you're up, sir.
All right, so for my up and coming talent, I'm going to take somebody that's really been impressive lately on AEW, Konosuke Takeshita. I think the dude is
Oh.
going to be a future world champion. He's entertaining as hell. He does a good promo, even though his English isn't great yet. He can still put on a good promo. He's been very impressive over the last year or so.
Yeah, he has. He's done a very good job.
Okay. Awesome. So that's me. I got 2. So, first off, I am going to take. Man, I've like so many different picks right now. All right, so I'm gonna take my women's champion because I feel like I'm building a great women's division right now. I'm gonna take Liv Morgan. And then for one of my up and coming stars, a lot of people don't talk about this person, but I think she's phenomenal. She is from the NWA, and her name is Camille. So I'm going to draft
I've seen her.
Camille
I've seen her.
from the
Yes.
NWA.
I've seen her. I like her. I like her attitude. I like her. I like the way she does. It's actually she does a great promo, and like you can really feel when she hits somebody, you can really feel it too. You can see like it feels like you're really like she's really giving it to him. So
Yeah, what I'm trying to do is I literally have I look at my women's division. I have Sasha, I have Thunder Rosa, I have Chris Statlander for some size. Now I just got Liv Morgan, that's a smaller body, and then Camille, who's tall. So we're gonna have like some fun matches out here. All right, Leland, you're up.
So I'll take for my mid card, I'll take Eddie Kingston. He's never going to put on a 5-star match, but he'll give you a 5-star promo almost every time the mic's in his hands.
Love it. Cyrus, sir.
So for my mid card, I am going to go. My mid card, I'm going to go with with Gunther.
Ooh,
Good
Gunther.
pick.
That's a good pick. That's really good. Joe Mack, I got you for 2, sir.
And I only have 2 picks left. I have mid card and additional because you're taking my up and coming. Don't forget.
Yes, yes.
So for my mid card, I looked through these lists, fellas, and we've done a big disservice to the wrestling community that this gentleman is still available. He's top 10 all time based on longevity and what he's done across all of these companies. Chris Jericho is going to be on my mid card. I don't know how he's not been drafted yet.
I thought he was. No,
No, he
I
hasn't.
hope.
No one. He hasn't been drafted.
So Jericho's joining. I'll take any iteration of Jericho, the Painmaker from New Japan, the Lionheart from WCW, Y2J, Jericho with the list and the short hair. You name it, I'll take it. And then for my additional pick, thinking outside the box to wrap up my draft of the day, I big upped him earlier in this podcast because of everything he's doing for the Bloodline storyline. I need somebody else to jump on the mic. Give me Paul Heyman.
Oh,
Give
okay.
me Paul Heyman.
I like
All
that.
right.
He can be the antagonist, the protagonist, or just the man on the mic. You put him in any scenario, he makes it 10 times better.
Amazing. All right. Cyrus, you're up, sir.
Let's see. I still have my enhancement pick left, right?
You have your enhancement pick. You have did I do the math wrong? You have your additional pick. You have you have an enhancement, and I think you have
Tag champs, right?
yeah.
All right. I knew I had 2 left. Wasn't when sure which ones.
Yeah.
For the enhancement pick, I'm going to go with John Cena.
For the enhancement pick, John Cena was taken.
He's with me, buddy.
Yes.
What?
A long time ago.
A
Yeah,
long time ago.
He was
That was
my
like the
first.
First, like the second.
You know, I'm sorry. I didn't see that. I'm sorry.
Oy vey.
Yeah, that happens at least once when I'm doing fantasy draft. That happens. I'll change that. So tag champs, I'm going to go with. I need a little comedy in my life. I'm going to go with the Alpha Academy as my tag champs.
Alpha Academy, okay.
Even though they're getting ready to break them up, but
yeah. Alrighty, Alpha Academy, cool. And then Leland, you have, if I got this correct, I think you're missing your tag champs, and is that it? Or do you have a women's champion too?
No, I'm missing tag, women's, and enhancement.
Yes. Okay. And then that's what I figured. So we have like one more round. Yes. Okay. Here we go. Go ahead, Leland. You go.
So I'll go with my women's champ, and I was struggling to think of somebody who would fit that stature, but I'll go with Ruby Soho. I think she's wildly underrated.
Me
I think
too.
AEW's misused her very, very, very badly, but I will go with Ruby Soho.
Okay. Cool. So I have 2. So I'm going to take my world champ now, and I am going to take the phenomenal AJ Styles. I looked at my list and I don't have like a babyface to root for. So I'm going to take AJ Styles. And then let me see. I think I'm missing my tag team champion too.
I think so. I didn't hear you say tag team earlier.
Tag team. And I have a tag champion. All right. Yeah. Tag champions. I'm gonna go. Ooh, there are 3 I'm looking at right now, and I like all of them because I looked at all my tag teams, and all my tag teams are all split up. So it'd be nice to have a tag team that exists. I'm gonna take you back early 2000s to total nonstop action, and I'm gonna go with the Motor City Machine Guns.
Ooh. Still around too. They're actually Impact champions right now.
Yeah. Alrighty. And I think pretty much we got one more round left to go.
Yeah, I've got 2 picks left. I think
Yes.
Cyrus does too.
You have 2 picks. Joe, you have 1, right?
Yeah, I got 1 pick left. Sorry, yes, 1 pick.
Yes, because you traded 1 to me.
Yep.
Yeah, and I traded one to you traded one with me earlier too as well.
Okay. So awesome. All right. So Leland, you're up.
I'm going with my tag champs, and I'm going to go with the Good Brothers.
That was Leland. That was literally one of the other teams I had on my list too.
The Motor City Machine Guns were on my list. I was taking them, and then you did, so I'll go Good Brothers.
I love it. All right, Cy, you're up.
So for my enhancement, I'm going to go to NXT, and I'm going to go with Trick Williams as my enhancement pick.
Trick Williams.
My man can talk on the mic.
And you got Carmelo too.
Yes, sir.
Yes, you do. Joe, you're up.
My last pick is gonna be the women's tag team champs in WWE. Damage Control. I already have Bailey, so that gives me Io Sky and Dakota Kai to add to my women's roster and the tag team champs in the building.
All Damage control. And the All right. Odekai. And Cyrus, you have one more?
It was surprise signing is the last one.
It was you have an additional pick. It's from any of the 5 categories.
For any of 5 categories. I'm going to go almost. Almost.
Okay.
I need a big giant out there that's going to take his licks as he's learning.
All right. And Leland, I think you have one more left.
Yep. So when I'm talking enhancement talent, I'm thinking straight jobber. Just somebody's going to go out there and get their ass beat, but be entertaining while they do it. So I'm going to the indies, and I'm going with Luigi Primo. And if you guys have not seen Luigi Primo, you should, because he's incredibly entertaining. He's been on AEW a couple times, was very good.
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
He uses a pizza in his matches, and he's very funny. I think that's what you're looking for in an enhancement talent, somebody like the Brooklyn Brawler, something like that. So Luigi Primo is my pick.
Yes. All right. So my last picks, and I think I have 2 more because I think I took Joe's pick and I had Cyrus's pick. So I'm missing my enhancement talent. So my enhancement talent, it goes along with one of my earlier picks. I have Matt Cardona on my roster. So I'm going to take his tag team partner, the most professional wrestler, Brian Myers. If you remember his old streak back when he was in WWE, he went the 0-137.
His defeated streak.
Defeated streak. So we're gonna keep that one going. So like I said, I took some picks because I wanted some young up and comers. Because I'm trying to make looks like my best division is my women's division. So I took Camille as one, and my other picks is from I just realized my picks are very Impact heavy. I am taking the Death Dolls, Taya Valkyrie, Jessica, and Rosemary. As I traded one threesome off, I got another threesome back. As weird as that sounds. But yeah. But there it is, the 3rd edition to the Manly Musings podcast wrestling promotions draft. One of my favorites. Lots of trades happening. And yeah. We're out here. Merritt,
Oh my God.
is there anything that you'd like to add or news?
Andrew, edit that part out.
I have no idea. I've got lost like 30 minutes ago.
And the one thing I'll say is when you guys first started and we first had this first episode of the wrestling, Merritt mentioned my favorite wrestler of all time, Triple H. And out of respect for Merritt and Merritt alone, I have not drafted Triple H. Okay. one day Merritt's gonna draft his own roster. And it's gonna be like Triple H, Al Snow as enhancement talent.
Hell yeah.
The Hardy Boys, like
I'll take Kurt Angle.
Kurt
Angle.
Yeah.
I had Kurt Angle on my list, no lie.
I love it.
He's gonna have Booker T. He's gonna have Booker T. And he's gonna have Harlem Heat come out as his tag team
Hey, you know
champs.
what? If no one's taking Undertaker, I'll take that motherfucker all day
Oh my
long.
God, the Undertaker! Did y'all see him in the Super Bowl ad for the?
Yeah.
What was it? DraftKings or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's how you know kayfabe is dead. Undertaker is doing commercial ads.
Yep.
And doing whatever.
Has anybody seen that DraftKings? How does that work when they do? Because they say you can make a pick for whoever's going to win the match or whatever it is. How does that work?
Peace,
Peace,
Joe.
Because they
Joe.
already know already.
I'm gonna just say bye real quick, fellas. I gotta go record the Mush Squad podcast with my boy John.
Yes, sir.
All right.
As always, super appreciative to be a part of this. I promise, Kev Merritt, we will have a crossover episode one day soon. Okay.
Yes.
Okay,
I'm
we'll
waiting
hold
for,
you
I want
to
to be a
that.
part of
All right.
your Mush draft.
You got it. The Manly Mushings podcast coming.
I
soon.
love it.
Peace out, fellas.
Peace.
So
And
Oh
then
my
there were
God.
4.
That sounds like a great podcast.
that does sound like a
The
great
Manly
podcast.
Bushings.
Yeah. Well, if anything, I'll just say this before I end it. So this looks like this could possibly, the 4 of us might see each other in Pittsburgh in September. You know,
We're not in
for,
Pittsburgh.
well, Morgantown, whatever.
Yeah. Get it right.
Morgantown.
My
Sorry.
God, yes.
Andrew, you're gonna need to edit all this part out and just like fast forward to the outro. But you can keep it in if you want to.
Just keep
But-
it in. This is
Whatever you
I
want.
can't no more.
this is
If-
going to
if it
be a
makes your
long
heart happy.
discussion.
Merritt, I can't no more, man. He's killing me. I swear.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, but I
guess
love-
what? You'll be back next week.
Yeah, Cyrus will be back next week.
I have to write all that.
Yes, don't worry. But I'm assuming it's outro time because Merritt is mad at me.
I'm not mad at you.
We're gonna. My God, I love it. All right, but I guess it's for the 5th time. It is now outro time. We want to thank
Oh,
Joe, Matt, Leland, and Cyrus for joining us on this journey together with
Definitely a
pro
journey.
wrestling. Yes, poor Merritt. And he's gonna have to stay up to like download this. But as I continue, if you somehow are still watching this on the YouTube, please make sure you like and subscribe to our page at the Manly Musings Podcast. If you somehow are able to listen to us and bear to listen to us, make sure you do it on one of the following platforms. We're on Apple Podcasts. We're on Amazon Play. We are on Google Play. We're on Spotify. I totally did it in the wrong order, but I'm sorry. Follow Merritt at his Instagram at Merritt_P. You can follow me at my Instagram at CakeFlavor624. Follow the podcast Instagram at the Manly Musings Pod. And you can follow Leland and Cyrus if you like. There are links into our Instagram posts. And yeah, that's all I got, guys. It's been a night. Peace, y'all.